Hi, hello, morning, afternoon. This is free Intune training provided by How to Manage Devices community, and this is episode number 57. And probably we are planning to kind of end this season, season one of Intune free Intune training by Thursday. We will restart soon. Okay, probably with season two. Once I have a good connectivity. So I'm planning to travel back to India. So I'll be traveling on Friday. so so that is why I mentioned probably Thursday will be our last session of this season. And once I got settled in India somewhere, and then I might need to arrange internet connection and all better internet connection. Um, so I'm still kind of struggling with that at the moment because of Corona. I am not able to get the modems and all. Those new connection supplies are not good, I think. So we will restart soon, season two, but I don't know the dates or time frame. Probably after a week or so. Okay, so I will keep you updated. So as I mentioned, Thursday will be our last session of this season, season one free Intune training. Okay, so let's get started for today. Okay, uh, yeah, thank you, Nikesh. And I tried that. There's no fiber optics modem in UK. I can't find anything. All are DSL. I can carry my BT modem. That is DSL, but that doesn't make much sense in India, I think. So thank you again for the suggestion. Okay, so let's get started. Uh, okay, so basically we are kind of struggling with Intune RBAC, right? So let's go to basics, right? First of all, let's understand what are these permissions, right? Intune role permissions. So Azure AD Global Administrator has all Intune permissions like AD users, AD groups, as you can see in the table over here. This is Microsoft Tech Community blog post, okay? And you can see all the accesses are there for Intune, Azure AD Intune Service Administrator, and Azure AD Global Administrator, right? Okay, all the permissions are there for both those roles, as you can see. All the whole lot of permissions, right? Okay, I don't want to go into all those permissions. Okay, but if you see the other roles, right? Other permissions, or these are default roles also, right? Policy and profile manager can create serial number for Apple enrollment. Okay, that can that can be done. The missing role probably is, I don't know. Okay, this one, right? Device enrollment managers, so that role is missing from profile managers. And endpoint protection reports, that is not available for profile managers. So this is good table which you can refer if you have any doubt, right? So okay, so I will share this link in the description of the video so that you can refer whenever you need, right? And if you check the help desk operator, right? Help desk operator read serial number, that is the option available. Let me go down to policies or device configuration, right? Help desk operator doesn't have any access in terms of device configuration, right? So probably that is one of the reason it got failed yesterday, right? When we try to add new no, not the new one, right? We tried to add an assignment to Google Chrome settings, right? And it didn't work. So probably help desk administrator or help desk role doesn't have access to that. Okay, so let me check the application. Application managed application. It the role has access. Okay, managed application, at least assign access is there. But for the device configuration, assign access is not there. That was interesting. I was assuming that the even the device configuration access will be there. Okay, so let's go back over here. This is our help desk user, and let's find out some managed application, right? So I don't know what does that mean exactly, like manage application. I am assuming that if we have any application like this application, for example, right? If I go over here, this is the application which we synced from uh, Microsoft Store. I don't know how many of you have seen that video, okay? But if I can find out something useful, right? Okay, any connect. Let me check any connect, and let me go down here assignment, and if I click on I think my scope is all India users, right? Required move might not work for users. Okay, probably I will select, I don't know what is the device which I selected. Okay, personal devices, I think, right? Personal devices is part of the scope group of this admin, that is help desk admin. Okay, so let's save. ah it worked, right? Without any change. I didn't do any changes, right? Without any change, I was able to assign this profile to all personal devices, right? Again, that I used person devices over here. I should be using the user group actually, ideally, right? So now let's try to add a group which is not part of my this user's scope group. For example, all Intune devices, right? This is not part of the scope group. Let me try to save. Oh, okay. It says you don't have enough permission to add that group. Okay, then that this is until this point, this is good, right? So yesterday it was my mistake. I tried to use the same logic in the Chrome, right? And it was not allowing me because of this table explains everything, right? This table, as per this table, the help desk user doesn't have help desk operator default role doesn't have access to assign any device configuration over here. Device configuration, there is no access, right? There is no access over here, so I cannot assign that. That is why it got failed yesterday. But yesterday Mayur pointed out a good one, and we are going to try that, right? So so now this is working at the moment. Now what I'm going to show you is, let me check the application again, assigning a scope, right? Scope tag, not scope group. Scope tag. Okay, so let me check the any connect application, and let me go to any connect application, and if I can't edit the scope tag, I don't know why. Okay, probably I would be able to. No. Okay, so okay, this is help desk user. Okay, so that's fine, that is expected. That is another example, right? I cannot as a help desk user or help desk operator role, I cannot edit anything related to the application settings or configuration, right? Even I can't change the name as a help desk operator, right? So for that, I need to go back to the full admin. I'm going to full admin, right? I'm going over here, apps and Windows and uh, any connect, and go to properties, and let's see, edit option is here. Okay, edit option is here. Now I'm going to add a specific scope tag, right? Scope tag would be probably Bristol. No, I don't want to do Bristol. Okay, probably I will say this is help desk. So help desk users can see it. No issues with that. Let's save it. Okay, default is still there. I'm going to remove the default one. Okay, save. So we change the scope tag of, if you are getting confused between scope tag and scope group, both are different. Scope group is basically for devices and users, right? For tagging the users and devices, but a scope tag is for applications, policies and all, right? Okay. uh, Let me find one other application which I don't want to show it to. Okay, Excel mobile, probably, right? Excel mobile, and edit the scope tag. It might not work actually, but anyways, we can try. I am going to assign Bristol or Bristol. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Uh, I I don't know why it is not coming up. Okay, select Bristol and remove the default one. Now, at least it should have one default. One scope tag. By default, the default one is available for all the objects, right? All the objects which support scope tags. Okay. So once you add the other one, customized one, you can remove the default, right? Save. Now the Excel mobile online should not be ideally visible to help desk user. Okay, so let's go to all application, but it might not work. Okay, so still it can see. So as I mentioned by Mayur yesterday, probably we might need to fix this by creating a um, custom role. Okay, in Intune, right? So before that, I'm going to try one more time whether it is going to happen or not. Okay, refreshed it. I can still see it. If I go to properties, let me check the scope. Scope is Bristol. Again, I can see it. It should not be visible to me as a help desk admin over here, right? This is help desk user. So let me go back to admin login. So this is admin login. Okay, and let me go back to tenant administration and roles. Tenant administration roles and all roles. Now, as you know, just to give you an overview, right? Um, Assignment over here, we have selected help desk. The scope. Oh, I don't know why the scope is not there. Okay, you might need to select your scope. Okay, let me select the scope actually, right? I missed the scope tags over there, so let me select the scope tag, and that might give some difference or some positive thing will happen right now. Now this help desk user is assigned to scope tag help desk, so it should only like help desk applications, sorry, if an application is tagged to help desk scope, then that application should be visible to this this users, these users, right? Users in this group. Okay. The members group. Okay. So, and the default application, the applications assigned to default, I assume, or applications assign or policies assigned to default scope tag will also be visible for this particular user, help desk user. Okay, so let's go back and check that now. Now let's go back over here and click on applications and click on applications. It still shows hmm, it still shows Excel mobile application. It should not show because it's Bristol. Okay, let me try to log off and log back again and check what is going to happen after that. Let me close this, and if I can open the private window again and endpoint. Okay, where is my username? Okay, username, password. I hope I can remember the password. Okay, today my memory is better. um, okay, yes. Then now it should not show us the application which are in Bristol scope. Okay, so at least no, come on. Why it shows? It still shows Bristol application, even though we have defined the scope tag of this particular assignment for help desk user to help desk. Okay. Okay. Anyways, now let's try the idea which Mayur mentioned yesterday, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this help desk user from here. No, sorry, assignment from here. Okay. So I removed the assignment. Now if I refresh, I should not have any access on Intune. Come on.
I have a doubt over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Are we not adding any groups to this Bristol?
No, we are not testing that yet, right? So
Okay.
we are testing the help desk one and we are trying to sort out that, right? So ideally, we when we log in with this particular user, right, it should not show the Bristol one because Bristol should be available only for Bristol scope tag admins, right? Not for the help desk scope tag admins. That is what my understanding is. Let me try to prove it, right? so
Okay.
let me try to add again login. Ideally, now if I try to log in, right, I should not give any access to the Intune portal because I removed the entire profile. I don't know whether I saved it or is there any option to save it? No, there's no option to save it. So if I go to help desk, I don't have any assignment over here also. Okay, this is a profile of that particular user, right? And I don't have any assignment over here, and um, it's part of HTMD. Okay, and help desk is assigned, and it's part of all users. So no permission for this particular user which I'm going to log in now. If it's still giving me access to Intune, then probably I'm assuming that it is going to take some time. Oh, error. Okay. So at the moment, I don't have any access. Okay. This we came back to Monday situation, right? When we start Monday, or I don't remember exactly, or last week. So when we tried to do this, this was the scenario, right? when we started the RBAC. So let me start creating a custom role now. Okay. So how to create a custom role? Click on this and click on create. If I want to replicate or make a copy of this one, right? So duplicate, and let me see, HTMD help desk role, right? Okay. So help desk role to. Okay, I'm going to create that. I'm going to keep it like that. I'm just going to add one help desk role and permission. Okay, so this is interesting part, right? So in permission, when you create a duplicate role, you have options to add additional permissions or remove permissions, right? For example, I was trying to do a device configuration with help desk role, and I mentioned in the table they have mentioned that device configuration were not allowed to are not allowed for help desk user, right? So over here I'm going to add that option, permission for help desk user. That is my requirement. For example, let's assume that is my requirement from my organization, that is how to manage devices, HTMD, right? Okay, so I added that permission while creating the copy of the help desk user role. Okay, this is the customization of role. And into device enrollment, I'm going to keep it as everything else same. But the idea is, if you have a specific requirement, right, then probably you can hover over here and you can see the details of this. What does this mean? Create device, right? Import Apple devices for Apple configuration, right? So that is the role. Let me go to manage application, right? Manage application. If you see this, this device, help desk operator role has access to assign application protection policies to Azure AD security groups. Okay, so that is bit misleading, right? Probably that a mobile application. Okay, so we need to talk about because this is kind of application like MAM related applications, right? This is not MDM. Okay, so we said, like I said before, this is one of the permission which is there in help desk role, right? Help desk user role. And we have manage mobile applications also, right? Application assign mobile applications or ebooks to Azure Active Directory security groups. This is what we tested actually few minutes before, right? Assigning a application to, I think, all personal devices, right, with help desk role. That worked. That is because of this permission. Or I don't know whether we have any other application related roles. No. Okay. So we don't have any other application related roles. Okay. So manage devices. If you see manage devices, help desk user doesn't have access to delete devices. So for example, delete Intune managed devices, deleted devices can no longer be managed by Intune. So that permission is not there, right, for help desk user. So if you want to give help desk user that permission, you can enable this, right? You can say yes, I want this permission for my organization. Okay, help desk users should be able to delete and do all those things, right? Okay, so that is a quick overview of custom roles. If you want to create a custom role, you can do like this. Okay, you can configure as per your requirements. So this is similar to configuration manager or SCCM custom roles. So I'm going to click next. I'm going to keep it default. Now, as Mayur mentioned yesterday, right? I'm going to add help desk scope over here, right? In this, probably I'm going to remove default, right? So that means this user might not have access to any um, any scope tag applications which are default or policies, right? Okay, so I removed the default scope tag from here, right? So click next, right? For example, if you want to add scope tag of Bristol, right? If this help desk user, if your organization, as per your organization policy, if help desk user are supposed to manage Bristol devices, users, and applications, then you can add Bristol scope also over here. But I'm not going to do that for this example, right? The only scope tag or I added here is help desk. Okay, now click next, and if you want, you can review the policies, except sorry, the permissions, right, and all the details, right, and scope tag is appearing over here. Now let's create. Okay, so we got a new custom role over here. So that is HTMD help desk role, right? So as you can see over here, this is the one which we created. Now we need to assign a group and all the other permissions to this particular role, right? So if I go to assignment, create a new assignment. Okay, this is what we did before, right? HTMD help desk admin. Okay, let's say like that. Okay, so this is the assignment role which I'm going to create now, and I think we are already reaching 8:30. Okay, so admin users, so this is admin users, right? So my admin users are part of help desk users. This is the group of admin users. Okay, so as you can see over here, this particular user, this is my user, right? Help desk user. Okay, and help desk user is part of help desk users group. Okay, so that is the group which I used here. Okay, help desk users. Okay, so this is Azure AD group. Okay, now next is scope group. Scope group is important, as you know, as you can select all devices, all users if you want. But if you want to have only help desk scope, right? Help desk scope, um, I don't know, devices or admins should be, sorry, not admins, right? Users should be part of this particular role assignment. Then you can add the groups of devices. So basically, as I mentioned before, we tried all personal devices, right? This helped us user can only manage the personal devices. Okay, that is what my assumption, my requirement is, for example, right, in this scenario. And it can manage only India users. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm adding all India users Azure AD group from here. So if I can go to groups, right, we can see personal devices group over here, right? So there are some devices in this group, and this particular help desk user is able to manage only these devices in this group. Okay, so that is one thing. And the second thing is all India users. So this is another group which we are going to use there, and these are the only users this particular help desk user can manage. That is the meaning of scope groups. Okay, so I'm going to add that over here and click next. And again, scope tag, I'm going to add scope tag as help desk user. I don't know exactly this is going to work or not, but we will find out. Okay, help desk user, and click review, and it got created now, right? So the assignment is there. Let me refresh it. Okay, and now if I go to our help desk user login, and let me refresh and try whether something is happening or not. Okay, it's still not there. Let me log off and log in back. Let's close this. Bear with me for another 2 minutes. I know it's already, we are running out of time. Uh, the user is here, and if I can type, okay, good. Yes. Okay. Error. Okay, this is the error which we got last time also, right? So I'm going to leave this as it is, right? Let's see what it is. It is because of time, or it might need require more time or something like that. Last time we how do we resolve it, right? Do you remember how do we resolve it? So what we did is basically we added, we went to users, right? We went to users and added new assignment role over here, right? Intune administrator assignment role, right? Then after that, it 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 had option to access the Intune portal, right? Then what we did is we removed this role, right? This assignment role. That is what we did last time, but this time I don't want to do that. Okay, let's wait and see, and tomorrow probably we will see what is going to happen, right? Okay, so that is it for today. Do you have any questions?
I'm sorry if it is repeated. Getting confused with scope tag and scope group.
Okay, sure. That's a good. Even honestly speaking, right? I'm getting confused also, right? Okay, so that is not a perfect implementation, I would say, not from our side, right?
Because
Probably
if I
my
don't understand this, I'm sure next 3 days would be very confusing.
yeah. Scope tags is basically, where is my picture, right? Okay, so uh, sorry. Can you repeat that again? Scope groups and scope tags, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, right.
Okay, scope groups is basically, there's no scope groups over here. I mean, okay. So basically, this picture is the old one, right? So let's understand scope groups here, right? So once the scope groups are clear, then probably you would be able to understand the scope tags. Okay, scope groups is basically, if you want to, for example, in Intune, right? If you assign sorry, in SCCM, okay. I hope you know SCCM, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so in SCCM there is an option like, let me check whether I have SCCM. Okay, open somewhere here. Okay, this is my SCCM. Okay, let me go to as administrator security, uh security. Okay, administrator security, and if I take this one, Dave, and go to properties, security roles and security scopes, right? So over here what you can see is collections, right? All system collection. So you know what you mean by, what does this um, what is the meaning of all system collection over here, right? If I remove all system collections from here, you know what is going to happen, right? So if I remove all system collections from here, so that means this user might not have access to all users, all system collection, and um, the devices, right? The devices shown in his console, or in his devices and users shown in his console, would be only from this particular collection, right? That is all users
Right.
and devices, right? So if I remove this, and if I add a different collection, my HTMD collection, right? So I have HTMD collection over here. If I add this collection, okay, So this particular admin user can only manage the devices and users from this particular collection, isn't it? Right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to click OK. Now let's go back to Intune. So in Intune, this is the same funda. Okay. So what we are doing is we are scoping out our users and devices using scope groups.
Okay.
Are you
Yeah.
are you getting me?
Yeah. 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 I got it. Yeah.
So this is only for users and devices. Okay. But we don't have any option to use this for applications, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
policies.
Don't.
For example, if I can go back over here in SCCM, uh, we don't have anything related to application or policies here, right? The only thing is all scope tag, right? Now
Yes.
if
Okay.
i go to if I go to software library, and if I say I want to use a scope tag, right? If I change the scope over here, right, to something else, then for example help desk, okay, if I have a custom scope tag over here, then the only help desk scope tag will be available for that particular user, right? So if I add help, sorry, for let me create one for you, scope tag, to create help desk. Okay, help desk, this is the help desk scope tag. Okay, I'm going to add this help desk scope tag, and I'm going to go back to that cumulative update, and I'm going to say this is the basically scope tag, right, in SCCM. So this particular update will be available for only these admins, which only these admins who are assigned to help desk scope tag, right? So that is what we are going to do over here. If I can open up that. Okay, now I'm going to remove this scope. This is all scope, right? That is basically similar to Intune. We have all and default over here in SCCM, right? So in Intune we don't have all, but we have default. Default means all, right? Basically, okay. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to add scope tag, security scope tag, help desk. Okay. So this is scope group. The first one is scope group, that is sorry, the second one is scope group, that is collection, right, in SCCM. Okay, and the
Yes. Yes.
first one is scope tag, that is
Okay. For applications and
yeah,
policies.
applications and policies. So if I click OK, then this particular user admin will be able to manage only the devices and users from this collection, right? And the only applications or policies which are scope tagged to this particular scope tag, right?
Yes.
Are
Okay.
you getting any idea now, or
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I'm
I
able to
understood.
confuse? Okay,
No. 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 I understood.
okay, that's good then. So that is what we are trying to do now. So over here we need to add something like scope tags, right? Scope tags for apps and policies, right? So this is what we were missing in the
Yes.
picture actually. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay. Yeah. This is convincing.
okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, that's good. At least I am able to convince somebody. Okay, thank you. Okay, I forgot your name, Deepu, or I don't know.
Deepa.
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 Okay.
Yeah, because my
Thank-
ID looks weird because I created when I was in 8th standard. So,
Okay. Thank you, Deepa, and yeah.
no problem.
So, is there any other questions? If not, we'll see tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you all for joining in today, and have a great day ahead. Bye bye.
Thank you.